a cross-legged position. So just kind of a loose position for morning. And then place your left hand next to your left hip and reach the right arm up towards the ceiling first. And as you do that, feel your sits bones. So kind of wiggle around and feel your sits bones underneath you. And then gently kind of bend the left elbow and reach to the left. And then bring your right hand down close to your left knee and curl your nose towards your knee and hollow out the belly and stretch through the upper back. And come on up and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So right hand outside the right hip. Reach the left arm up to start. Reach up as you ground down into your sits bones and then tip to the right. And you can let your right elbow bend and just get long through the left side of the body. Try to keep your left sits bone on the mat. And then bring your left hand towards your right knee. And again, hollow out the belly a little bit. Curl the nose down towards the knee so you get a nice stretch to the upper back and along the left side of the spine. And then just come back up. We're going to do a little dynamic stretch. So reaching up and over, and then up and over. Just kind of getting the circulation going, waking the body up, a little bit of movement, gentle stretch. And then we're going to open out the legs so you're in a V-sit position, and don't go to your edge, go to kind of a gentle place for morning. And we're going to do kind of the same thing. So left hand outside the left knee. This time you might be able to bend your arm a little bit more and reach the right arm up and over. Again, think about dropping that right sits bone into the mat so you have an anchor point from which to stretch. And then take your right hand out or inside your left knee. Again, curl, create the hollow space, curl your nose towards your knee and stretch into that upper back. Take a big inhale and see if you can lift the back of the heart up through your shoulder blades. And then come on up. Same thing on the other side. So start with the right hand, reach up and over. Stay grounded through the left sits bone, long through the left side of the body. And then bring that left hand around so that it's inside your right knee. Hollow out the belly, curl the nose down towards the knee. And then inhale the back of the heart up through your shoulder blades. And then sit on up. So we're going to just do a really subtle stretch. It's kind of hard to see it here, but you're going to work with your pelvis and your sits bones. So you're going to send your sits bones back and reach your belly button forward without rounding your back. So this is really just a way of stretching your hamstrings, your inner thighs. So you're moving your pelvis forward and then rolling back so you hollow out the belly. And then rolling it forward. And your knees can be nice and soft so you don't worry about stressing your hamstrings out this morning. And keep rolling the pelvis a little bit. And then from here, just bring your legs together and we're going to lay on our backs. And draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a gentle hug so you're nice and loose. So your knees are about hip distance apart. Your arms are wrapping around, but you're nice and loose. And you're just going to rock side to side and let your thigh bones move around in your hip joints. So waken up your hips from the inside. And then as you're rocking, you're noticing what you're feeling on the back side of the body. And start breathing through the nose as much as you can. Long inhale, long exhale. This helps create heat inside the body, which is a better place to stretch from. And then clasp the hands around the right knee, straighten the left leg. Let the right knee open out into your natural hip turnout. Flex the left foot. Draw the right knee up towards your right shoulder and start spinning your right ankle. So you should feel some length happening through your left hip flexor and also some opening in your right hip joint. And then use the left hand to guide the right knee across the body. Extend the right arm out and then just let that right knee hang heavy. And breathe into the twist. And this is a really relaxed twist. You're not pressing your knee down. You're just letting the body weight and the breath do the stretch for you. And then bring your knee to, or your foot to your right knee or your left knee and open out that right knee. And if it feels too much, oh, Juniper, if it feels like too much on um, your hip, you can lower your ankle below your knee and just let it massage and just gently encouraging that hip to open. And then from here, we're going to bend our left knee and come into a figure four position. So your right ankle's crossed over your left knee. And we're going to take our hands through our thigh and lift our left leg up and grab behind the thigh. And if that's awkward for you, you can always keep your foot flat on the mat. But if you can, grab onto your thigh and then just rock a little bit side to side. I like to put my right elbow on my inner thigh. It sort of helps keep that stretch happening as I'm moving, but it also gives you a little more stability as you rock. And then go ahead and hold still and see if you can, oh, Juniper, come here. See if you can lift your chin up towards your ankle and draw your ankle back towards your chin. So just getting a little more hip stretch here. You're activating your core, warming it up this morning. And then go ahead and lay down. Set your foot on the mat, arms at your sides, palms face down. Extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Really flex your foot. So notice that my heel is reaching up towards the ceiling. This is activating the back of the leg, getting it long, and then just start spinning your ankle here. Give me a red. Come over here. And then go ahead and lower the leg down, and we're going to do the same sequence on the other side. Oh, red. Sorry, you're not going to be able to see me with her here. Come here, lady. Over here. Sit down. That's my girl. So draw the left knee up. Let the left knee open to your natural hip turn out. Pull it up towards your left shoulder. Flex the right foot and spin the left ankle. So again, we're working on our hips here. So you've got your right hip flexor getting long, your left hip joint getting a little softer, more open, waking up. And then just take your right hand and guide the left knee across the body, extend the left arm out, and just let the weight of the left leg do the work of the pose. So you're breathing, you're relaxing into the twist. And then left foot to the right knee, you're going to cross it over either above your knee or below your knee, and you decide which one you'd like. And then gently massage from your hip bone down through your hip flexor into your quad, just to encourage that hip to release a little bit more, open up a little bit more. And then go ahead and bend your right knee and place your right foot on the mat. And you can stay here, or you can bring your leg up and grab behind your thigh, like we did on the other side. Left elbow can go to that left thigh for a little more stability, and then just rock side to side and kind of notice what you feel as you rock. I definitely feel something more on my outer hip down through the side of my thigh. I feel my lower back a little bit, especially on the left side. So just kind of paying attention to what you feel, using your breath to make sure that you're soft and aware of what's happening in your body. No pressing into a stretch. And then go ahead and hold still. We're going to lift our chin up and draw our chin towards our ankle and our ankle back towards our chin and activate our core. And then go ahead and lower down. You can lower your foot down, hands on the mat next to your heel or your hips, and extend your heel up towards the sky. So really flexing your foot, drawing your toes back towards your face, lifting your heel, activate the back of the body, the back of the leg. And then spin the ankle. And then let's join the left with the right. Same thing, flex the feet as if you're standing on the ceiling. And then point the toes, bend the knees, use your core strength and see if you can draw your knees into your chest. Just hold for a breath. And then again, press up towards the ceiling, flexing the feet. Then point the toes, bend the knees, and see if you can draw your knees into your chest. And now we're going to kind of add on to this. So flexing up, pointing the toes, reaching them forward, but not all the way, and then draw your knees in. Use your core strength to draw towards your chest. And again, one more time, up towards the ceiling. Point the toes, reach it out, bend the knees, knees towards the chest. And then we're going to start rocking. So same motion, grab behind your thighs, point the toes and rock up. Flex the feet and back, point the toes and rock up. One more time and we'll come up to a seated position and just come on into your hands and knees right away. We'll make a little tabletop position here. Draw your navel into your spine. Your core is engaged, nice long spine. Neck is in line with the rest of the spine. Then we're going to tip into cat. So draw the tailbone down, hollow the belly, just like we did in the very beginning. Press the back of the heart up towards the sky and then drop the crown towards your hands. And take a big breath here and let the upper back really expand. And then as you exhale, we're going to reverse that and go into cow. So we'll start by dropping the chest, curl the gaze, lift the tailbone up and get long through the front of the body. So you should feel your abdominal muscles kind of lengthening here. And as you take big inhales, it even extends a little bit further. Your next exhale, we're going to go back to cat. So start dropping the tailbone down, hollowing the belly, pressing into the palms, lift, drop the crown, take a big breath, let the upper back expand, and then back to your cow, drop down, lifting the chest, lift the tailbone, get long through the belly, and breathe. And come on back into that tabletop position. So the navel's drawing into the spine, the core is engaged. We're going to lift the right heel back, press the sole of the foot into the mat or the carpet or wherever you are, and reach your heel back. So this is a really nice calf stretch, pretty safe, good one for morning. Take a couple breaths. And then weight your hands and lift your right heel up to hip height. So you want your hips to be in the same line here. You don't want to have this hip turned out. Try to keep it in the same line. And just gently start lifting your heel up just a few inches, just to activate the back of the thigh. Heat it up a little bit. And then go ahead and lower it down back. Body, reach armpit close to the right from you. Then you're going to reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. So you've got your left shoulder on the mat. My head is on the mat and my neck is fine with this, but if it feels funny for your neck, just move your sits bones back so that the twist is happening through the upper back and shoulder. So figure out which one works best for your body. You can keep that arm up, or if you want a little more twist, you can bring the right hand around towards your left hip pocket and roll the shoulder a little bit away from your ear. And as always, just breathe into the twist. And then come on back up. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to spin around here. So we'll start with that calf stretch. So reach your left foot back and then weight the ball of the foot and send your heel back towards the back of the mat. And then weight the hands, lift the heel up to hip height. And again, try to keep your hip bones in the same line and then start tapping up and just heating up the back of the leg, the glute, the hamstring. Just creating a little heat. And then go ahead and lower the knee back under your left hip. We're going to take the right arm, thread it under the body. Right armpit is reaching towards the left knee. Roll up to the right ear, right shoulder, left arm reaches up. Remember, if your neck feels funny, sit back. And take the hand around to the hip pocket if that feels good, or keep it up skyward. And breathe. And come on back to your hands and knees. We're going to separate our knees as wide as our mat and put our big toes together. And then sit our sits bones back on top of our heels. Walk our hands forward and try to lay the chest on the mat. So you'll get a little opening through the chest, through the shoulders, and just kind of wiggle side to side here. Keep breathing. but just gathering some information about what you're feeling in your body, if there's any sort of tension or if you're holding anywhere, that, and really weight that left sits bone into the left heel and stretch your hands forward. And then come on back to the left side of your mat. Weight the right heel and stretching forward. And then come on into center. We're going to come up into a modified upward dog. Keep your big toes together and see if you can lift your heels up towards your glutes into this sort of push-up position. So if you're like me, your hamstrings are talking to you. You can start relaxing your hip bones towards your wrists by kind of actively drawing your wrists back towards your hips and your hips towards your wrists. And just lift the chest, lift the gaze, get long through the belly. And then we're going to extend the legs back to the back of the mat. You're going to square off your knees and feet so that they're hip distance. Hands to the top of the mat in front of you. You're going to try to drop your chest to the mat, keeping your hips up. So this is puppy pose. This is even more of a front body stretch. And then we're going to slink forward into Sphinx Pose. So stay on your forearms, shoulder distance apart. You're going to lower your pelvis to the mat. You can point your toes behind you and just let the top of the feet down. And then you're going to actively draw your elbows, your hips, and your hips towards your elbows. But you shouldn't move too much. Like you probably can't even tell that I'm doing it. So there's really not a lot of movement. It's all just as you lift the chest, you're activating the back, drawing the elbows back. And then you can relax on that a little bit. We're going to press up into a forearm plank. So balls of the feet down, straighten the legs, strong legs, squeezing through the quads, the glutes, hollowing the belly. Really focus on your breath here. Long inhale, long exhale, drawing the navel into the spine, feeling your core strength kind of heating up a little bit. Then we're going to press up into full plank. Same thing, try to drop your pelvis, squeezing through the glutes and the quads, pressing into the palms, drawing the ribs together and down, continuing that heat. And then press back to a downward dog. Hands are shoulder distance, feet are hip distance, lifting the hip, sits bones back. And then come on forward to a plank again. Hold for a breath and back to downward dog. And one more time back to your plank. And back to your downward dog. I'm going to step forward with the right foot between the hands and drop the left knee. You can come to your fingertips or stay on your palms, whatever works for you, just lifting the chest. This is where we're really going to work on our hips. So you're sinking into your hips. You're getting long through your left hip flexor. Your right hip joint is just kind of melting into place. So you're getting some circulation going through the hips, which is really important. If you've been sitting or if you're going to be doing a lot of sitting, your hip flexors work really hard. So keep your hands and foot where they are. We're going to send our sits bones back. Keep the ball of the foot pressing down so that as you send your sits bones back and begin to straighten the right leg, you get a stretch to the front of the right foot. And just fold over that leg. You can keep the right knee soft. You don't want to lock out the leg. And then come on back forward. We're going to come into a high lunge. So you're straightening that left leg. And then we're going to step forward. So our arms is shorter and we're going to, and then we're facing the side of the mat. They're parallel to each other. Hands are in the center and you can be on your fingertips, your palms, whatever works for you. And just neck is getting long, and breathe. It's fine to bend your knees a lot too. If that feels better, do that. And then walk your hands around to the left side. We're going to do that same stretch. So your feet should be about the right distance. Soften that left knee and then just drape your body over the left leg. And then we're going to go into that high lunge. So you may want to just step back with your right foot so you're on the ball of the right foot. Left foot's in front of you. Feel the length through the hip flexor. And then go ahead and drop the right knee. You can come to your fingertips if that feels better. We're going to sink into the left hip joint and lengthen that right hip flexor. And then send your sits bones back. Keep the left knee soft as you fold over the leg. Sole of the foot is still on the mat. And then come on back into your high lunge. So straighten the right leg. You're on the ball of the foot. We're going to step back into plank. Then we're going to take our left hand and place it inside in the center of the mat and roll off to the side and reach the right arm up. So side plank here. If this feels like a lot for you this morning, you can always drop your left knee and keep reaching up. So really active core. It's all about the core here. But if it feels okay to have your legs straight, do that. And then when you're ready, we're going to start bending our knees. And if your left knee is bent, you can just join them together. Bending our knees, finding our left hip and sitting up tall. Hand is going to be on the right ankle. We're going to sweep that left arm up and over. So kind of like we did at the beginning, but a little deeper because you've got your left hip activated. And then again, take your left hand to your right knee, hollow the belly, drop the chin. And then we're going to reverse that. So reach the left hand out, press through the feet, reach the right arm up, come back into your plank. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, which I'm going to flip around. So the right hand comes in the center of the mat. You're going to layer the feet one in front of the other. Left arm reaches up. Remember, you can always drop your right knee. Call. Take one more big breath in. And as you exhale, start bending your knees. Drop your right hip. Take your left hand to your left shin and sweep the right arm up and over. And then bring the right hand around to your left knee. Hollow the belly. Drop the chin into the chest. And from here, we're just going to open our legs out to that V position that we started with. But we're going to draw the left heel in. So you've kind of got this open V, a little bit like a hurdler's stretch. So we're going to stay here and put the right hand inside, bring the left arm up and over. And then come up. Take the left hand behind you. So you want it kind of right behind your hip, about close to a foot, probably 8 inches or so. Then we're going to bring the right arm up and around, press into the left knee, and lift up for a modified back bend. So you should be feeling this all the way from the front of your thigh, up your hip bone, up the right side, and through the chest and the shoulder. And just do your best to really engage your glutes to stay lifted. And then come on down. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So start with that bent right knee, left hand inside, right arm comes up and over. And then bring the arm up. Hand is going to go back behind your right hip, probably 8 to 10 inches. And sweep the arm up, pressing into the right knee, engage the glutes. Lift the left hip up and breathe. And lower down. We're going to extend the legs out us. And just flex your feet and bend your knees a little bit, hands next to your hips, and just kind of wiggle your knees. So you're sort of shaking them out. And then go ahead and hold still. Keep your feet flexed, your knees slightly bent. We're going to see if we can touch our hip bones to our thighs. So really that has to do with kind of what we did in the beginning of class. You're moving your pelvis. You're tipping your pelvis forward. Your sits bones are reaching back. Just by doing that, you're getting length through your hamstrings. And so it's a really kind of safe way to stretch your hamstrings, especially in the morning. Just really using your pelvis and not really adding the forward bend into it. So stretch the hamstrings, reaching them back. And then sit up and join the soles of your feet together. This is called Badakanasana or butterfly. Hands are back behind the hips and just kind of rock your legs side to side, kind of checking in. You can sort of flutter your butterfly wings if you want. And then place your hands on your feet. So thumbs are going to go at the base of the big toes. Fingertips are on top of your feet. And just gently work to open the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. You can use your thumbs to massage the arches of the feet. This is kind of a nice thing to do in the morning also. But it also encourages the feet to just sort of soften, encourages the ankles to then soften. So if you've got your ankles kind of relaxed, your knees can be a little more relaxed, your hips can be a little more open. So just sort of play with opening the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. And then draw your elbows to your waist, sit up nice and tall, and see if you can pull on your feet and draw your chest so that it's over your toes. And then holding on tight to your feet, we're going to lean back, hollowing the belly. So imagine someone placed a little beach ball in your lap. So you're dropping your chin towards your chest. You're trying not to touch it. Sending the back of the heart through the shoulder blades. And then just holding on to the feet, you're going to peek over the beach ball to see your toes. So keeping the upper back rounded, belly hollow. And come on up. Extend your legs one more time and just relax. Be really loose. Just kind of shake it out. And you're done. Thanks for coming. Enjoy your day.